Live. Hello, hello. Sorry about that. Just had a little bit of a technical issue. All
Yeah,
because of the clocks changing.
yeah. It's a total
Too
pain back.
tricky.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go into YouTube to see that I can see us.
Look, we're there. Look, hello.
Mm.
We look great. Is anybody there?
Hello,
Is there
hello.
anybody there? That seems appropriate today.
Yes. Ooh, we are very spooky.
Ooh.
Mm.
I think I should wear like a Dab Bandit mask and hat all the time.
Yeah, you look pretty cool, I must say. Yeah,
Nicole's
Nicole
there.
is here. Hello, Nicole. Woo.
Woo!
So I was just thinking that for today's responses, if we do anything in the chat, we can use the ghost,
We
right?
could, and the pumpkin.
Oh yeah, pumpkin. Let me find pumpkin. I'm just prepping our
We've
so
got
we
a
can
pumpkin ready for carving in the kitchen.
you do? Wow.
Yes.
I have
Oh,
to
that's
listen.
you, isn't it, Boy Snowy Mountain? So
Yeah,
that's
that's me. So there is the pumpkin. Oh yeah, it's a bit funny now. Yeah, that's me. So I put the spook and the pumpkin in the thingy.
Coolio.
The
Coolio.
toast. Yeah, so welcome everyone to our annual, because we did this last year already, right? Our
Yeah, we
annual
did do a Halloweeny thing.
Halloween zoo.
And you can take us so very seriously.
Yeah, yeah, very serious. So,
Just to say, can I just say at the start, because Nicole,
mhm,
you're on, um, that we read your question and we
which
were
is a
thinking we
great question.
probably would like to address that with a whole live,
Mm,
if posso.
yeah, so we're not going to talk about it now, Nicole, but we'll take up your suggestion because you said it would be good to do a live topic on that, and we will. It might be one of our next ones because
Yeah,
it's a
do
really
something a
good
bit
one.
more meaty.
And also
Um,
because, even with this Halloween thing, I mean, there is so much, everybody's always telling everyone how to train a thing. And of course, we are all for training, love training. But we also all, how should I say it? Like life happens and everybody's busy, and all of a sudden it's Halloween tomorrow and you haven't actually trained,
exactly.
right?
And that's the thing.
Like
It sneaks up on you, doesn't it, when you're not looking?
totally. And this the thing about dogs, but the Nicole's question about dogs that approach you, it's the same thing. You can't control that. It
Hmm.
happens no matter how much training you put in. We cannot change our dogs for who they are. So if they get approached by other dogs, that's going to be scary for them. So we need to know what we do when, excuse it, shit happens.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to talk about that in more detail. And today it's more about management at
What? I don't know
home.
what just did. Hang on, hang on, hang on.
Yeah, it's a total
Too
playback.
tricky. I
I
don't know
can
what's
hear. I'm
happening.
just gonna go into YouTube to see that I can see Yeah, us. You're just playing the live. That's what it
I
is.
know, and
I
I
can
don't
hear
know
the music.
how. I don't know how
Hmm.
I'm doing it.
That is funny. So you need to find your
Oh
browser.
no! Where am I? Hang on, I'm just going to put
Panic.
myself on mute. You carry on.
It's so funny. Panic stations, panic stations. Woo! Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, we need to today is about what to do um at home when we have Halloween. I mean, the problem with that is that we have constantly, people at the door, our dogs go crazy, and it happens again, 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 and what to do about that. Now, here's a question for you guys. I don't know who else is here. If you're here, please put up a spider web. That's brilliant. Nicole put a spider web in the chat. So if you are here now,
I'm back.
please let us know with a spider web in the chat. And my question is, are you worried about Halloween? Are you
I
worried about
always get a
Halloween,
little bit
Julia?
anxious, I have to say, because we do get a lot of kids coming to us. because all the kids in the street know us, mainly because they know one of our cats.
Oh,
I know. So they always pop over. And
well,
I
do
just
you?
want, I don't want anybody to get stressed. I don't want the kids to get stressed. I don't want me to get stressed. And I don't want the dogs to get stressed.
Mm,
So there's a
mm,
lot going on in my head.
yeah, totally. I get that. Here, around here, Halloween is not a thing.
Is it not at all?
No, no. There's a bit of Halloween decorations and stuff in some of the shops, and there might be Halloween parties, Halloween themed kiddies parties, because you see some costumes available. I went into the dollar store yesterday for some other reasons, and there was some yellow Halloween themed stuff there, but nobody goes door to door here. Um, it's just not happening. Maybe yet, who knows? But I totally our time in Canada, I mean, it was great. It was great seeing everybody walking out, and also just the decorations in the yards and in the front gardens and everything
Yeah.
creeping up. They just slowly grew, and
And
how the
that's
house.
another thing, isn't it? If your dog freaks out with the decorations,
Oh, while you're walking them,
I
yeah, that's
know.
another
Because for
thing.
some
Yeah,
dogs, that's going to be like, this is seriously weird.
yeah. Well, that means we would have to prepare them for Christmas too, hey?
Exactly that. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So and confession. Okay, let me ask first. Has anybody hid, have you ever hidden away?
Pretended to
Pretended
be
you're not at
out.
home? I have. I
I
have.
haven't actually. I feel like I'd be sprung.
We've done that in Halifax, which was really a bit sad, but we just didn't know what to do about the dogs. And so we turned all the front lights off and pretended not to be home. We had one kid, nonetheless, once come and knock on the door. So then I
Yeah.
went out and explained to him that we were not there.
So Nicole said they don't get a ton of children, but Chopin was quite surprised yesterday at the shadows and decorations at night.
There you go. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so let's do talk a bit about what we can do to help our dogs on Halloween, right? So the
Okay.
biggest problem with that is obviously people coming to the door again and again and again. Hey, Sue! Sue found us. Great
Yay,
to see you.
Sue! Hello!
So that's brilliant that you found us. And we were just asking if you're worried. Are you worried about Halloween at all? And also, I just, said that I actually have hidden away before. When we were in
Mm.
Canada, I was hiding away. Anyway, and then we can talk about some tips because we have some tips here for you today that will make a huge difference for you if
And preparing, getting yourself ready now is absolutely key, isn't it? You don't want to just wing it.
No, I think that's the worst thing
Yeah.
people do is like, let's just see how it
Yeah,
goes.
exactly.
Let's see, maybe he's going to be okay. And I don't think, I mean, unless you have an old soul dog or a dog that's totally used to it already. I mean, those dogs exist, of course.
There are some. I've
But on
never
the,
had one.
no, mostly I think they're just made up by Hollywood, or
I
Disney,
know.
they're
It's like
Disney dogs.
they're the sort of dogs that other people have.
Yeah. So constant doorbell ringing is definitely scary and upsetting for the dogs. And the worst thing we can do is number one, not prepare at all. And number two is that we have some ideas of what we can do, but not implement it straight away and first wait to see how it goes. So
Yeah.
I think preparation is really, really important, and we want to implement everything straight away. And I mean, why is preparation so important? What do you think, Joey? What are your thoughts on
For
prepping?
me, it's all about how you feel. And it's
Exactly.
about you know what you're going to do when. So you don't get in a big flap. So, say your dog does freak out, you're not like, oh my God, they're so stressed out now. What am I going to do? You haven't got things to hand. If you're prepared, it's like, okay, I've got
Mm.
this.
Yeah. Yeah, because you see, the thing is, if we're worried about how our dog reacts, then that's all, yeah, we anticipate worst case scenarios and we're really, really worried. But we don't know what's
Exactly.
going to happen, right? So all this uncertainty and the sort of anticipation of worst case scenarios is really upsetting. And that's where all the worry comes from and a lot of the stress. But if we plan ahead, then that puts our focus on a bunch of things that we can actually control.
Exactly that.
Right? Because a lot of the horrid stuff is because of stuff that we can't control. We cannot control how our dog reacts to children in costumes. We cannot control what kind of costumes the children will wear. We cannot control how much noise they make outside and all of that, right? And so
And neither should we
definitely
really,
preparation.
you know, it's all about everyone being, working together really, isn't it? That's how it should be.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing is we need to get a plan in place and then implement it because we do not want the dog to freak out. Because the thing
S-
is,
Yeah,
if our dogs freak out at Halloween, then it's not just the problem in that moment and all that stress is also how you feel afterwards, right? Like guilty because you let it happen. We don't want you to feel that because, I mean, we know that you guys who are listening to this are the kind of people who will beat yourselves up afterwards for having put your
exactly.
dogs
Yeah.
into the stressful
And
situation.
we know
So
that
that's why
because
we,
that's what we're like.
yes, exactly. So that's why we, put together a plan. And then also because for both you and your dog, the coming days and weeks will be worse because now the dog's had a meltdown at the door. So they will remember that tomorrow, or the day after, and potentially, for weeks after. And that adds to their trigger stacking, right? So now you
Exactly.
have a calm day and you just have friends coming over, and the reaction is worse than it would be if things hadn't been so bad at Halloween. And talking about trigger stacking, that's another reason why let's see how it goes isn't good because maybe the first lot of kids is still fine, right? But when it happens again and again and again and again, there comes the point where your dog can't actually hold it together anymore.
Yeah, and it can be relentless.
Yeah.
Although well, it depends on the year, doesn't it? Probably the year that you're most prepared, nobody will come round. That's
Well,
what
okay.
happens to me. That's happened to me before.
But that's not the worst that can happen, right?
No, but it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. I think that's the
Yes,
point I wanted to
exactly.
make.
Preparation. Okay, cool. So then
What do we
let's
do?
have a look at. So number one is we want to put some management in place, right? And the most
Yeah,
important thing is to not give our dog access to the front door, free access to the front door, right? That's
exactly.
number one.
We want them to be as
Because
far away from the front door as
yes,
possible.
because the dog doesn't know what they're supposed to do. And doorways and stuff, there's often a lot of tension. So now we have an excited, over-aroused dog, and we have those kids. Everybody runs through their programs. The kids are going, "Eh," and your dog's going, wah, eustress, whatever. So we don't want to do that. And any kind of door behavior that we might want on that day, that all has to have been trained before the event, right? And be precisely here today with you because everyone, it sneaks up on everyone, right?
Exactly. And then you
Unless it
think, I
sneaks up
really
on you.
should have been
So,
planning for this for ages.
okay. So you have to find a room as far away as Julia says, as far away from the front door as possible. That's where your dog will stay for the entire evening. And it's really important that you put the dog there early. Don't wait for the first trick or treat and put them away after that, because once they're already wound up, it's much harder for them to be put in the room and relax there because now they're
Exactly.
suspicious, right? So you don't want them to get wound up at all. So we put them away way early. And of course, we don't just want to lock them away, right, Julia? We're not just putting them in prison.
No. Poor puppos.
Doggy prison. So,
in prison.
so what can we do? We can make that time really, really cool for them. So we can prepare a whole lot of chewies and licky toys,
Yep.
right? And for that to really work well, you might just decide that that is how they get their dinner that day. So what can we do? We can, if you're feeding kibble, you can put the kibble into snuffle mats and things like that, obviously. You can hide them around the room, but we want them to be not necessarily in hunting mood. We want them to just sniff and be calm, so don't make it too exciting. You could soak the kibble, no, in water
Yeah,
or
to
in
make it
broth
even
or bone
tastier.
broth. It will make it even tastier and it's now mushy, so you can spread it over licky mats or put into a jar.
Yeah.
I don't know what is
Just be
going on.
aware with things like licky mats of how your dog uses them. You, for some dogs where you've got a licky mat with quite deep grooves, it can be a little bit frustrating for the dog. So if
Hmm.
they start chewing at it, that's saying it's a little bit too hard. So it's better. You can even use something. I use quite a lot of things out of the kitchen actually. So like silicone baking trays and that kind of thing, which are
Yeah.
just flat, but at least I know the dog's just licking
Yeah.
rather than
So,
chewing.
and a lot of you know your guys already. So
Yeah.
you know what really works well for you and your dogs. You can also use Kongs and stuff if they're used to this and if they like it. So you want to prepare um as much as possible. You can for some dogs you can put food in paper. You can do use recycling, hide kibble in there and so on, as long as you know that your dog is not going to eat the plastic or the paper. So
Yeah.
if you're not sure about this, you will want to supervise. So there's many different ways what you can do. And then in terms of if you normally feed raw food, obviously that's a really good something that can be frozen.
Hmm. Or
Um,
just wet food, canned wet
Wet
food, or
food,
that comes in
yeah.
trays.
Exactly. And if
Yeah.
your dog's regular food is not easily usable, for these purposes, then they get something else on those days. So, like Julia said, regular wet food, you could soak the kibble, or you can get wet food. You can give them raw that one night. It's not gonna harm them. I mean, you guys know what your dogs can eat, so these are just general suggestions. If you need them, you could shred chicken, no bones, but you can shred some cooked chicken. That can be
Yeah.
part of their food. You can definitely use pumpkin. Most dogs really like pumpkin, right? And
Mine don't.
again,
It's
you
so
can mix,
annoying.
hey, yours don't.
Mine don't. No, it
You
really
guys are
annoys me.
seriously odd.
I
My
know.
dogs love pumpkin. My
Yeah,
dogs love
no, not
a lot of different
interested.
veg. But you use what your dog really likes. We're just making some suggestions and you can try out. We have a couple days before Halloween, so you can try out, right? Banana. Mine adore banana. They like apple. Those are all things. You just work with what your dog likes. Julia is shaking her head,
Mine
but
just don't. They're just terrible. But what I do is I tend to like if I'm going to have to give them lots of stuff, I will bulk it out with bits of veg as well so that you kind of get a little bit more bang for your buck
yeah, and
because so it's lower
that
calorie and you've got all your nutrients in there and your
yes,
fiber and whatnot.
and you can
So
totally like with your pumpkin, for example, you can put bone broth and mix it.
exactly that, yeah.
And yogurt. You just have to, of course, work within your dog's dietary restrictions and what it is that they like. But the tip here is as much as you can, use nutritious things and replace your dog's regular dinner on that day by feeding them in this way because it will last longer. It will make sure that it's more effective because they're hungry. And then if they can lick all those frozen things or hidden things, from the food toys and so on, that will keep them busy.
Exactly that.
And then what else can we do to keep them calm?
Well, many, many things. So we can also just use some chews, like our natural chews that we've got. So bones and tracheas and bully sticks and blah 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 blah, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff,
pig's
obviously, that
ears.
they're going to like.
Mm-hmm.
If you find that your dog is a little bit stressed, sometimes putting something on the outside of those chews to get them started is a good idea,
Yeah,
or soaking them to soften them a little bit first, so
yeah.
just to make them a little bit more accessible.
So true, so true. And then we can also, so first of all, we want to make sure that they're not in this room. They're as far away from the front door as possible. And you close the windows, close the door so they can't hear what's going on when you open the front door. And then we can also use so music or white noise for them in the room,
Yeah,
right? So that will cover some of the stuff that's going on. And you could even do a double whammy. You could put white noise or something similar up in the room with the dog, and then have some music playing in the rest of the house or closer to the front door, just so that you don't want them to constantly be alerted to you going to the front door, right?
exactly.
And if you can lower the volume of your doorbell, that might also be a good idea, right?
I think, you can get those doorbells that actually don't make a noise at the doorbell, they just alert your phone. I think they can be quite good. I've been meaning to get one for myself for ages and haven't. So need to
Okay.
do that at some point. They could be really
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, so we have chosen the right room, we've prepared some chews and legs, right? You have to stack up today. You have to start stacking up on stuff and
Yeah.
also ready-made chewies and things like that. Then we said you want to create a calming soundscape in the house. And now, if you have, some of you might have dogs that will not be fooled by any of this.
Yes.
Or maybe for whatever reasons you can't do these things, but you still want to participate because you love Halloween. So now what you can do is you can, I mean, you still want to put your dog in management. You still want to put them somewhere, and you still want to give them calming things to do. And this is providing that they can be on their own, right? But you
Mhm.
don't want them constantly being triggered by the doorbell, right? So then what you can do is you can either sit outside for the evening with your candy and your costume if you really love
Or a
Halloween.
big coat is what I would do.
Yes, exactly. Why is it that those fabulous festivals that are all about dressing up
I
are
know,
always
it's in the
in the
winter
cold?
or in the
I
autumn and
know,
winter when it's blooming cold. I know, and all you
I
want to
know.
do is put your big coat on. I
Yeah,
hear
I know
you.
Carnival in Germany when we were kids, all these elaborate costumes, and then you have to put your parka on top of it.
It spoils it
Nonsense.
all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or you freeze.
All your
Anyway,
fruits,
so
yeah.
you could sit outside, right? If that's what you need to do. Or what you could do is just put a bowl of candy out with a sign, right? You can make that. I mean, I was thinking you could put things down like, help yourself if you dare, something really spooky and
You could, yeah,
kids
yeah.
sneaking up to
It
the
might be
bowl of
chocolate covered
candy.
sprouts, you don't know.
Yeah, whatever, things like that. You can trick the tricksters. Or if you wanted to, you could even, and if you like crafting and stuff, you could even put like a sort of informative poster next to it, like, take your candy, be quiet, our dogs are chilling inside, or something, to alert people to the fact that it's not, because lots of, the public always has this expectation that dogs have to be good, right? So,
Mine have
give
just gone
everyone.
bananas with somebody's, I think it's the person actually delivering the box of chews and treats ready for Halloween, ironically.
Funny. Anyway,
I
so
know.
okay, so we've done that. And now uh that's those are the steps that you want to take on the day, right? But now you need to plan ahead a little bit. So we're talking about management. We're not talking about training for the day because we don't have enough time for this.
No.
What we want to do is, and maybe you guys, as you are listening to this, um, we if you have good experience with your own, things that you've done in the past, please share that. You can pop in the group and put a comment under, quickly put a comment under the post where we advertise this talk, because you might know a couple of things, or you've tried some things and if they worked well, then let the others know. So that would be great. But if you are here now trying to come up with a plan for your own Halloween, so while you're listening now, why don't you rush over to the kitchen, get your piece of paper and a pencil, and make your plan now? Because it's really about thinking ahead, isn't it, Julia?
Yeah, even if you just spend 5, 10 minutes deciding what you're going to do,
Yeah,
because then you'll just feel so much better. And if you feel so
yeah,
much better, then of course your dog's going to feel so much better.
yeah,
So that's what we need.
totally. So you need to decide where you want to put your dog, what music you want to play, how you're setting up music or white noise in the room with the dog and or outside of the room with the dog. And you want to make a shopping list of chewies and fillings for your dog toys, right? Your food
Exactly.
toys. And then you also want to discuss your plan with family and friends, or anybody who's going to be there with you on the day, right? You want to talk about what's the timeline. When do you expect the first trick and treaters? And you want to make sure that you potty your dog beforehand and then put them away and set them up in the room before the first doorbell rings. That's really, really important. You want them
Exactly.
settled, right?
So I'm going
And
to be going out on Halloween on Friday. I'll be out doing some work and I'll be leaving the house just before about 4. So I will get the dogs all set up before I go.
okay,
And
yeah.
then I will have a note for the husband and I will discuss it with him, but I'll put a note out as well because he will forget. Saying, do not let the dogs out. Give them chews, you know, give them
Hmm.
snuffles, set them
Yeah.
up for lovely times. So that's my plan. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking
And
if I do it before 4 o'clock, we should be okay.
yeah, as long as they don't need to potty.
Well, no, but what I will probably do at that point is pop them out, take them out in the garden on a lead,
Mm. When you come back.
after a couple of hours and then pop back in again. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, if you're not on your own, you can always, somebody can stand guard.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay, and then something else. This is really important for your own peace of mind, because some of you might be thinking how horrid the poor dogs get locked away in the room. So it's really, really important not to think about it as if they get shut away from all the fun. That's not what this is about. They get to have a really good time with all the enrichment that you're giving them. They have You're protecting them from the disturbances and the potential fear reactions or overexcitement, that they might be having. We don't want them to get flooded with cortisol and whatnot, right? And then it takes days and days for them to reset again afterwards. What you can do to ease your own mind is, if that's possible for you, you can set up some nice exercise for them earlier in the day. Either take them for a nice walk or something if you can, but lots of people can't because you're at work. Or you can just do something with them at home. That's where training comes in, but not training for the door or anything, just your favorite training exercises, things that they love to do, and they can work for a little bit of food ahead of time, use their brains, right? And make them tired in that way. Or,
And do things that
yeah,
they enjoy as well, so that they're
yeah,
enjoying
yeah,
it, they're using their brains, you're connecting, you're doing all
yeah,
those good things.
yeah.
That would be lovely.
So, and that will then just make you feel better because you've just done some quality things with your dog, and now they're going into their, what do you call a nice restful place? I want to say spa, but it's not a spa. What do we call it? They
Little
get
chill
some
out
they get some
zone.
nice alone time, right?
Yeah.
Nice, it's good. They love that. And there is enrichment there. And I mean, nobody says you can't check up on them if you want to. And if your dogs really don't like to be on their own, then you hang out in the back room with them with a good book or a nice audio book. Set yourself up so that you can enjoy those couple of hours, and you put that bowl of candy out front, and the kids and the trick and treaters, they can help themselves. And you know, and if you want, with a note, to let them know what's going on. But, or you can do what I did for a couple of years while we were in Halifax. We just really pretended not to be there. Everything in the front was calm. Dark, we didn't even have a carved pumpkin on the porch, nothing. We just pretended not to be there. But that's a kind of sad if you like Halloween.
Yeah, I always feel sad doing that.
I think what is really important is to remember that this is a management plan. This is not about training your dog for Halloween. This is really for all of us who've kind of like, what? It's Halloween already?
And to be honest, any training plan would include a lot of this management anyway.
Yeah.
There's not a magic wand that's going to make it all go away.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Mm.
Okay, so let us know your thoughts. And if you have any additional tips for anyone in the group, then please hop over there or on our Facebook page, even better, because we'd like lots of people to notice that we're there, because people can't necessarily share what's inside the group, and I think this is really useful for anyone. So pop on
Do put
the
some
Facebook.
Halloweeny, what you and your dogs are doing on Halloween. Put some photos and stuff over there. Not of anyone doing. We're not expecting that your dog to be dressed as a pumpkin. Can you imagine dressing Hattie as a pumpkin? She'd be livid. We're looking at, the enrichment that you've given your dogs, the stuff that you've given them to do, and the calm space that you've created for them. So yeah, share those on the page and in the group.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, it's
Yeah,
easier to
that'd be
share
really
those in
cool.
the group. We can pop a post and
We'll do that
with
on
a
Friday.
reminder and maybe a little checklist of the things to do.
Good idea.
Yeah. Cool.
Right, guys,
Right.
we'll see you
I don't
next
know what it
time.
was for you, but it was very, very quiet in my chat, so I don't know.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
Never mind.
Right.
Okay, cool, guys. Thanks very much for joining us. And
We
if
will
you
see you next
watch
time.
this, yeah.
Remember, put questions, send us questions. We want to make this
Yes.
more into a Q&A, so we're having more of a conversation. And we're answering things that are important to you. So put some questions out for us.
Yeah. And there's a post just now, a thing from Nicole. Thank you, Nicole, who says that she finds music works well, licky mats and
Yes,
snuggle mats and shoes. Brilliant.
exactly that. It's a
Okay.
pleasure. And we will see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Be spooky.